And Nurse of the Week. Moving on to Nurse of the Week, my favorite segment of the week every single week. And I do want to first preface this Nurse of the Week with an apology to all of my brothers and sisters that are nursing assistants out there. I have this platform and I always talk about how I want to acknowledge the amazing things nurses do. And yes, I don't think nurses get the acknowledgement that they need. But if I'm going to tell you something, if I'm going to say something, nursing assistants, medical assistants, nursing aides, whatever you call them, health aides, whatever you call them, they get zero spotlight. They get zero love. Us nurses, we don't get enough love. But the nursing assistants and all of that entire segment of people that are there to help nurses do their work get zero love. And I am here to shine a little bit of love on one of these nursing assistants. She today gets Nurse of the Week. And sadly, it's not for the greatest story, but I am rooting for her. So let me tell you. So before getting fired, this Nurse of the Week, she got fired. And yes, she still is the Nurse of the Week. Before she got fired, this transgender nursing aide was told that she would go to hell. Yes. Scary situation. Let me tell you what happened and then we'll talk about her, all right? So a nursing assistant anonymously describes 5 months of shame allegedly conducted by coworkers and superiors at the Gardens for Memory Care in Easton, Pennsylvania. So she did she did file a lawsuit against them after she was let go. So let me tell you what happened during this time when she worked. And it was just 5 months and she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it because she reported all of this stuff, and they still said, deuces, no thank you, we want nothing to do with you. And now she's filing a lawsuit, and I'm all for her because, god damn it, why wouldn't you be, right? So let me tell you what happened. So, and I'll tell you one of the most egregious thing that she put into the lawsuit was that the former healthcare employee claims she was intentionally slandered by staffers as he, and at one point overheard one coworker gossiping that unless she sought absolution, she would go to hell. So damn, right? That's a coworker. We just did this thing with nurse.org, which is still going on. So please, in the description box below, nurses support their young. Stop the bullying in the nurse workforce. We did that entire campaign and it's still running. So please, please, please sign the pledge. But that is an exact example of things we don't want happening at our place of work, where we go to work, right? You want to at the very least, if you don't like a coworker, take that to management, take that to HR, and explain and express yourself. But to gossip and talk this kind of shit and say one of your coworkers is going to hell, it's a scary thing and it's a hateful thing. And to that nurse or those nurses out there that is gossiping and talking shit about their coworkers, first of all, you're an asshole. Second of all, if you are going to talk shit, keep that same energy when you being put on the spot. Make sure you have that same energy when that nurse confronts you, when that nurse takes it to HR, when that nurse takes it to the management. All right? Please and thank you. So you might say, Q, outside of that one nurse being a douchebag and saying that she's going to hell, why should we, what if the other nurses just did it by accident because she didn't do the full transition? I hear you. Sure, I get it. Kind of, but not really. I think it's all about intention, right? And she's filing a lawsuit. There's no way in hell that she's going to file a lawsuit because a couple of nurses or a couple of her coworkers accidentally called her a he, right? I just don't see that happening. But if it did happen, they go into the justice system and they will prove it in court. Outside of that, what I think actually happened, I'm going to actually tell you what is in the lawsuit. And she alleges that the charged nurse would constantly use male pronouns for her. And you might say, okay, toughen up. But it's not only that. On top of that, on the assignment sheet that they would make every morning or every time she would come into work, instead of writing the name she wants people to call her, right? I go by Q at work, so instead of people writing Q, they would write like Z or some shit. But in her case, it wasn't just a nickname that they were putting male names on her assignment of the day. She would cross it out. She would write the name she wanted. And I keep saying she and he and all this stuff and not her name is because she requested when she filed the lawsuit to keep her actual name out. So they're calling her Jane Doe in the lawsuit because she doesn't want it to be public. Because you know and I know that people in the LGBTQ community do commit suicide at a higher rate than the rest of the population, and it's scary. So she does not want people outside and people, the general public to know who she is, so they can start sending her hate mail, and that kind of shit happens all the time. So yeah, so the charging nurse was writing he instead of she. The charging nurse would change the names on the assignment sheet. Then you heard about I told you about the coworker that said she would go to hell if she doesn't pray. So she did the right thing. She didn't just quit, walk out, scream, stomp a fit. No, she did the exact things that we were taught to do. She went to HR. She never heard back. She never heard anything back from HR. After waiting weeks, months, whatever length of time she waited, she went to the director of nursing, right? She told her story. She told her side. She left. She came back. The next day she was on. During her lunch break, when she was returning from her lunch break, the director of nursing told her to hand over her keys and hand over her badge, and she was let go. No notice, no meeting, no nothing. Just, you're gone. We don't want anything to do with you. And this is after she had done absolutely nothing wrong except for complain, report the abuse and the bullying that was happening at work. I think it's actually insane. The reason she gets Nurse of the Week is because she's a fighter. She's brave. She's going through this entire transition, and we all know we can't pretend that it's easy to be transgender in America in 2018. She is, right? And on top of that, she was fired for it. She was bullied for it. She was abused for it. So to all the employees at the Garden Memory Care in Easton, Pennsylvania, I'm not judging all of you, but to those who were bullying Jane Doe, the Nurse of the Week, you guys are assholes. And I really hope that the justice system goes after you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate this. If you guys were informed or educated in any way, shape, or form by these stories, please hit that like button. If you liked my presentation of the news, I really suggest you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time Q the Nurse drops some hot, fresh press news. Thank you. Catch you next week. Deuces.